Hello and welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier, broadcasting live from the center of your entertainment galaxy with Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. We are back tonight for our latest episode, The Life and Death of Traven Lex. For all those that wish to join us for these exciting developments tonight, you can always join us live on twitch.tv/GM in the Great Barrier. We broadcast live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, if you're catching this in the archives, then you have no shortage of videos to catch up on, I'm sure, but we hope you enjoy them, and we hope that one time you will join us. If you ever wish to catch this or our Aegis game, it's also on the channel here. We are available on social media. Details are in the panels and descriptions of the videos below. And of course, any support you ever want to drop for the channel, I have a presence on Ko-Fi, and feel free to drop a follow, a like, anything of the sort. Everything helps in its own little way. With that, we're going to get into tonight's session.
Be sure to spend your Quadaloos on Saturdays to thwart the Aegis crew. Throw a bunch of threat and stuff their way.
Oh yes, that does remind me. The GM must acquire threat for the session. I'm going to
Why
hold
you
up.
just want to spread the animosity?
Why do you open your mouth?
Why you gotta do that?
You had to remind them, huh?
No.
Hey, I'm not the one that's doing it. I'm just trying to get our fans to be the ones to do it. So then it doesn't affect our game. It just affects theirs.
Yeah, but they'll know that you sent them. Good God.
They don't know who's talking. I'm not Nazak Korg's voice yet.
Oh, why?
Somebody's
now.
already attacked us.
Why, yes, Junk and Prime, you did in fact do that right. And for those that are at all confused about what the GM is, or well, rather, what Joe is talking about, and what I am now pondering, Star Trek Adventures, as any of you have been watching this series for any time knows, has tokens that can be earned by the players and some by the GM that can be spent to acquire dice, introduce advantages or complications depending on the side, spending it, and otherwise do all manner of helpful things. For the Twitch channel, for the live broadcast, there is a very particular in-channel currency, the Quatloo, which allows you to purchase, to basically allow yourself to actually affect our game in certain ways. So you can do anything from small things like have an NPC voice a line. You can increase or decrease the difficulty of your tasks, purchase momentum or threat for the players or the GM respectively. And
yeah, but don't spend it on your own game. That'll just get you in trouble.
Yes, it does. And because of the very particular content, for the record, only half of this will actually last through the adventure, and any half of whatever is left, half of this will go away afterwards. Let's go ahead and get into the story tonight. When last we left off, well, I mean, the events of the last episode, I suppose, aren't truly quite as germane here, because for all it matters here, when last we left off, for one particular character, they faced down a most dreadful challenge, and they suffered greatly for it. It was in this last moment before all the world you knew seemed to fade away that just everything seemed to have gone wrong, and one simple gambit had played terribly. And before anyone could do anything else, you found yourself in the grasp of a beast, one that bore the face of a friend, and there was scarcely a moment before you could truly reckon with that, and the jaws which eviscerated your chest. There's a steady beat against the hull of the ship, the rushing and splashing of waves and some substance catching against a wooden hull. You're not certain when you would have remembered it precisely, or when you would have heard the sounds. You can scarcely fully register even your own last reckoning of any sensation such as that. The one thing that is certain that comes to you is that sound, followed by a smell. Coppery twinge of something hanging ambient in the air. Perhaps coming off the waves itself, but also a certain staleness. Something that you more feel intuitively. Your eyes open and you come to with the dim light of a boat around you. The dim light of torches beating across a wooden deck. The clouds darkening the environment. You would scarcely guess that it is even daylight out there. Though it is hard to discern the place and timing of anything here. You can only tell the rough location of where you are on this boat, and you can discern the occasional crack and flash of lightning in the distance, although these clouds, thick as they are, would not betray any semblance of rain. What do you do, Traven?
First thing I do is stand up. I start looking for anybody or any symbol on the ship that I can see that tells me where I am.
Okay. If you would like to start off and earn some momentum, which it occurs to me you wouldn't properly start with here, I'll ask you for an insight plus command with a difficulty of 1. Okay, well, there's a single success. Initially looking around the boat, that initially it seems to be largely quite barren, save for the distant figure manning the helm of this old sailing ship, or rather, you would know it to be a ship that relied on traversing terrestrial waters, and that in order to steer the ship, that there was some sort of wooden mechanism. You don't quite remember when you necessarily heard that, or where that came from necessarily. It does occur to you, however, that there are also half a dozen other figures on the boat with you. They don't seem to have necessarily come to. They are slumped or rested against the wood in all manner of different ways.
I go up to the head guy steering the ship.
You approach, you find a man whose gaze pierces ahead as if he can see beyond the clouds and far over the horizon, treading a path that he has long been on, and a route that he knows well. Someone crossing this voyage with the steel determination.
Where am I?
He barely acknowledges you for a moment. You're a strange passenger here, but you're on the same place that all souls must will find themselves that did not meet did not rise to the threshold. You are on the barge of the dead.
Wait, that's for Klingons.
All souls are judged as to whether they have a warrior spirit. You clearly did not.
Where's my crew? Did they make it?
Your past life is of little relevance to me. You have come here without honor. You are bound to the same place as all others that go here, although I scarcely know whether they will allow you to enter Grethor.
How do I get in?
That is for the guard of Grethor. You will have to contend with Feklar and his judgment. If you are lucky, then perhaps he will grant your soul a quick dispatching, and perhaps you may pass into the nothingness. More likely, he will allow you to be fed out to the Kostkari with the other lost souls. If you, or the others that seem to accompany you, he says, gazing out to the passengers, decide to take that route, then you may do so at your discretion.
Look out. No one came with me, I don't think.
The boatman takes his eyes away from you for a moment, Traven. Didn't they? And the figures that you realized were around the boat all seem to have taken shape. They are still not fully, seemingly aware of their surroundings, but you recognize everyone here like you, is Trill.
I do a quick count.
There
Oh
are
my god.
there are indeed 7 others around you.
The first one I run up to immediately. It's gonna be
Okay.
Lindell.
A balding man in a white coat, or like, the white coat and apron, the sort of attire that was common to his days back in the kitchen, though slightly wrinkled, only because he has been a little bit out of position. He otherwise, would comport himself fairly neatly. His hands missing the signs of the typical, varied textures or tinges in color from whatever dish he was interacting with in that glorious time in between when the order had come in and when he had ushered out his creation and had the opportunity to wash before going to before going to introduce his dish. Traven, my boy, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? It doesn't matter much. It's so good to see you.
I messed up.
Traven, what are you talking about?
I put the symbiote in extreme danger, and now I'm kind of paying for it. We're in the Klingon afterlife. I know you don't really know what Klingons are.
What? That doesn't make any sense here. Uh, I mean, clearly we're in a strange circumstance. Honestly, I'd wonder if we stopped by a particular planet on our last excursion. I can't remember where were we last. Was it Altair? Yes, we were about to make port in Altair 6. Although this doesn't look like any of the habitable planets in that system. Are you sure we didn't celebrate a little too hard after our last instance?
I am now Traven Lex. You passed away, and I was the next in line.
He furrows his brow a bit and kind of looks around. Well, I can hardly say that this is anything like what I've experienced before. I've never remembered anything this vivid. What the previous... He looks around at the others and then back to you. The previous hosts?
Apparently, I don't understand why any of this is happening or how any of this is working.
As this is happening, I'm going to ask the rest of you to go ahead and give me just a single D20 roll here. Depending upon the lowest roll, people will be able to come to and interact. That's a 19 on the board from Ray, a 6 from Joe, a 16 from Caligo, and
I don't remember how to make that work. Thank you.
4. Okay, and hey, that helps. That's going to help you come to first. So, Frem, you steadily you find yourself leaned up against a boxes. Basically, you realized that you were seated on one and having your back rest against another. This is a far departure from anything that you last remember. But you find yourself on this same ship. I guess what is as you start to regain your senses, is there a particular direction you would want to go, or
Just ow, corner, right in back. Ow, 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 ow. What is going? Oh God, why am I on a boat? Why am I on a boat? I don't like boats. Oh,
I don't know how to confront her.
Eh.
Did you know much about the symbiotes?
I mean, no, not much more than anyone else. I just, oh dear, it looks like she needs something with a bit more lumbar support.
oh,
How are you doing over there, young lady?
I've been better.
Oh, wait a
Last
minute.
thing I remember was a big kaboom.
Oh, uh, Lyndall looks down a bit. Uh, right.
Um, I was talking, and there was a flash and a kaboom. This is not the auditorium. This is a big chunky boat, and I don't know where this is.
At this point, as you are puzzling to come through, um, I should say that in your current form, I think that you find yourself to be, well, if you had the ability to look into any reflective surface right now, you would find yourself to be a much younger version of the woman you were back in those days. Though possibly in some of the more civilian-oriented garb you might have worn during that type of speech, though just as comfortable from university days. Um, as that's going on,
She's looking at her hands, particularly the backs of her hands. Basically, where are all the scars?
uh, as you were looking over your hands, a gentleman in particularly colorful and like I dare say almost garish outfit of a more portly demeanor, or rather of a more portly size and well, I suppose we can't quite get to demeanor yet just because he's still coming too, but this is our moment for Joe to enter the picture.
Oh, my neck. What? Oh, what on earth? Or I guess it would be what on Trill. Who are you folks?
Are you addressing any of them in particular?
Not really.
Oh.
Kind of getting a
Yeah.
bearing of what I'm seeing.
The nearest people to you are somebody dressed in what appears to be a very um, kind of it seems a little bit of a bulky suit, almost something military, but the material is something it you can't quite make out exactly what it is. It's deeply unfamiliar to you. Um, then there's the younger woman who's just started talking a little while ago and is busy inspecting her hands. There is also the balding man in what appears to be a chef's outfit, and the a very nervous-looking younger bearded man.
Is the Klingon still here too, right?
He is. He looks nothing like a Trill, and or at least the the different facial look and conspicuous absence of spots is strange, but it is at once for some reason not something that gnaws too much in the back of your mind, or like the shock that you ought to have over seeing an alien for the first time does not surge upon you. At least I don't think it would like that would be there in the background. You may of course freak out if you so wish, if you think it's in character.
He's more just trying to kind of read the room a little bit and kind of get his bearings.
Do you want to make it a proper roll of any sort?
Yeah, I was thinking that. Maybe insight and medicine to see who some of these that maybe that species is. Or
I mean, in terms of recognizing the Klingons, that would probably be a bridge too far.
Okay.
You definitely don't recall even the introduction of other species in your time, as you may remember, or not. Let's go on around as you're trying to figure everything out.
Sure.
Specifically, Caligo being next down on the list. You come to in probably a place that's actually a little more comfortable than the nasty little trench that you might have woken up on most days of late. But it is very strange that you're on a boat.
Let's see. Wooden boat. Really ugly guy. No blood. I'm dead. Well, that's nice.
an older man next to you, in what appears loosely you would describe it as a uniform. It seems to be a sort of light gray shirt with a badge that actually doesn't look too far off from what some of the Allied states are sporting, but it's out of the materials very unusual and seems to I don't know, seems to fit his form very well. Easy there, soldier.
Tebo.
What?
My name. I'm Tebo.
Wait, that can't be right.
Oh, the old man on the far right of the screen raises his eyebrows a bit. A soldier named Tabo dressed in the outfit of the Great War.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
No kidding.
A while ago. I'm fairly certain I just died.
Oh no, you passed
That
some.
was so. Yeah, but I know that name. You can't be standing here.
I I hate to break it to you there. Frem, is it?
How do you know my name?
I thought I could tell a bit from the face, I mean, no, through all the years, and no matter how sticky those ambushes got, any of that, never really wore down your, that, there's always that spark in your eyes that other people told you about. And sometimes you even thought you could see back in maybe a moment or two. But
How? Wait, how? I don't know you.
I'm a.
How do you know any of that?
Um, well, this is difficult to say, and it's most difficult to say given who else is here. Ray, this is where your character also comes in. As your eyes meet with this older man, you think he's actually, there's something vaguely familiar in those eyes, but um, age seems to have slightly wizened this figure here.
She sits up suddenly before standing and inspecting everyone.
Well, uh, Eddie's there, Commander.
Where are we? I am not accepting dead as an answer. We appear to be on an aquatic vessel. Where are we?
Well, we're in the process of figuring that out, Commander. Or, well,
I
I guess
mean,
that
I'm
was
sure that's.
posthumous.
Wait, is this?
I'm sure death is right over there. Ask him. I point at the Klingon.
Well, he doesn't look like any species that I've met before.
She inspects the Klingon. I have to conclude that we are prisoners of war, trapped on a vessel.
Well, the war's over, I've heard. I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
except for Forn, they're still out there, aren't they? The Forn regime. I've been trying to take them down from the inside for years.
I have to say I'm honestly at a bit of a loss here, but I well, the captain is going to think here. I'll say that for the most garish looking of them, once again, none of these people appear terribly familiar. You see, it's an intermix of different trill, old and young, some men, some women. And I will give you that the general vibe seems to be confusion, with the exception of the younger bearded man towards the back, who is quite. Uh, he appears quite anxious. I'd be willing to give you for free. Your years would tell you that much. Likewise, Bellinar, I will say that your inspection of the surroundings in which you found yourself supposedly imprisoned seem quite lax when the only guard appears to be this Klingon figure. Actually, before going around too much, is there anything else that you are looking around to assess right now?
I'm looking for weapons, possible escape routes. Is there anything of that around?
Okay, give me an insight plus security.
Okay. Let me pull my girl up here.
Yep. This will be a difficulty of 1.
Okay.
Okay, there are 2 successes on the board, which will net you a point of momentum. Um, Immediately shuffling through the boxes, there are scarcely signs of anything useful. A lot of it is like just various ruined materials, general bits of like cloth that they're not really drawing any coherence. Um, I would say that because you've succeeded, I will allow you. I will allow that you could find some sort of blunted blade type weaponry. It is very rusty, like clearly underused. Some of them appear like out and out just completely broken or unusable, but you could probably scrounge together a handful of blunt objects and dull melee implements of various sorts.
Can she kick in a box and start handing out wood shards to the other crew?
You can certainly begin to do that. As you do, I will give you that you catch sight of a like something out over the sea. You look out, and the waters that surround you appear to be at the close distance you're at right now, mostly a deep blood red, although some of it tinged with a bit of magenta in places. There is a very large there's something out there in the water, as the signs of something serpentine kind of slithers, comes out of the waves, and crashes back down. Uh, Given the length of the like serpent that seems to pass by, you could guess that whatever is out there is probably at least significantly longer than this boat, but not large enough to capsize or otherwise destroy it, at least if it is sturdy. It does present a complication in terms of trying to leave the boat, though.
She hands out her makeshift weapons to everyone, stopping it from vaguely recognizing, but not quite.
Um, you're getting a
Arm
tinge.
yourselves.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will say, with most, you're getting a tinge of familiarity. Not the not the 2 that are talking over here, but
Hmm.
well, the the young soldier, the older woman who is the last to sort of come to, the man in very garish looking dress, and of course the one you'd already interacted with. The guy in the gray shirt, he's familiar but in a different way, and you don't know quite well. He's addressing you at least a rank above what you are supposed to be. It's worth noting.
Okay.
Yeah, but
She is not going to correct them. That's fine by her.
yep.
Secret promotion.
Yep.
He looks to them as a whole. Do not look over the edge. There are things in the water.
I hate boats.
Oh, you never were a fan of the. Well, you always liked to keep your feet on land, didn't you?
Who's saying that?
The older woman who's just managed to get up and stride across.
I know this person. I know you.
You do.
Who?
It's been some time, friend, and
That?
I'm.
Wait, no. This can't. Ha, ha, ha. How are you here?
She'll offer out. She'll just offer out a hand. Um, Clearly, our whatever circumstances brought the 2 of us together, and has brought the likes of others. Like, she raises a finger and furrows her brow. She is slightly wizened by age. she's very much the old professor that you remember back from back from previous days. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that quick, insightful turn comes over her face, and she smiles a little bit. You would be Tabo.
Oh, but I don't. See, I know that name. I mean, I know Timo, but
Yes, and
how? None of this is making sense. And I know
oh,
him too. That one's Felinar, and I don't know how that's even possible.
well,
Probably because finale dresses.
That's like he's he's dead by centuries.
it's more on close to a century at this point, or at least from my perspective. I don't know exactly how far ahead it is, but um, I cannot speak to this environment, but
It's a
something.
boat.
Well, yes, it is a boat, of course, but you must remember, she says, wagging a finger, to ask the right questions. What circumstances brings what would only make sense to be the collected hosts of the Lex symbiote together.
Well, that means I'm dead too. Okay.
Shame.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
I know you and those three. I don't know.
well, and that is for us to figure out, unless whomever is certain they are furthest along would be prepared to share their.
I am the 8th Lex host and the latest host.
Okay, good. Where are we?
Why have you
How
brought us here?
how are we here? This doesn't seem like any kind of ritual or anything or any kind of process that I was ever taught for communing
Who's
with.
the freaky guy?
Yeah, I'm less concerned about him
We are on the Barge
because
of
of
the Dead.
the what now?
The Barge of the Dead, it is the afterlife of an alien race that you, our
Huh.
race, won't experience. I don't believe for a while. I believe I am the first.
Oh, well, I mean, technically there were rumors of the Klingons. Federation
Like
records existed of them, and I remember hearing about terror raids that would happen on the border.
Federation? What are you talking about? It was the Union. Did something change?
Um,
Federation.
well, oh,
Union.
I'm not so good at politics. Something after my time. It was after, well, I guess, um, oh, a little after your time too, I'm afraid, Romaldo, he says, gesturing over to the old captain. Uh, yes, there was um, the trail, well, we eventually left our home world, or rather, we started exploring, and we met others out there, and some of them they were from a united federation of planets, uh, a grand sort of alliance of many different peoples from many worlds that opted to coexist, to explore the cosmos, and to live peacefully with each other.
And who's telling? Real quick, Mr. GM, who's telling us this?
This is the balding man in the white uh, coat, the kind of the chef's outfit, or something that vaguely looks like the chef outfit.
I see.
And wait, who
So
is this guy? Who are you?
I am I'm Traven Lex, and
You can leave
this
off the Lex part. We've pretty much figured out we're all Lex.
got it.
But
And
I
this
should. But we should all know each other.
or at least the later one should know.
If you would let them talk. She turns to Traven. Go ahead.
we probably don't know each other as well because I basically refused to communicate, to adapt, and coexist with you. and the symbiote.
What? How could you do that? Or not do that, as the case may be. What?
I will say this is something that strikes all of you as a bit taboo here.
Well, it's scared you won't live up to your own expectations.
Exactly that.
That's utter
Ooh.
nonsense.
I mean, look at all of you. You've done amazing and great things. The best thing I've done is got kidnapped 2 times, 3 times.
You're alive, aren't you? Aren't you?
I
You
don't
did say
know
this was
anymore.
some sort of afterlife.
At this point, Lindell will come over and place an arm around you. Oh, dear boy. What happened to you?
I tried to be the hero, and I forgot my own limitations. Basically, I put me and everybody else in danger for 5 seconds of fame, and it might have cost me my life.
Did you
Our lives.
at least accomplish the task at which you risked everything?
My crew is not here, so I don't know. I just wanted to be a part of the crew, so I went to help.
Then you lived a life worth living. There is no shame in that.
Yeah, at least you stepped up.
Yeah, but
There's
I'm
no shame in that.
concerned about why you're not talking to us.
It's like breaking your dad's model car after he spent hours and hours building it.
I'm sorry, the simile is completely lost on me.
Boat,
Oh yeah.
and then you smashed it. Kind of like that,
Um,
but with 7 dads and moms.
Romaldo can't help to chime in. Oh, like breaking a ship in a bottle. Well, no, I know the previous versions of me did, or the other former Lexes. I know the rest of you didn't indulge in the ship in a bottle. Did you two? Traven it was, and I didn't catch your name over there. Lindell. Lindell Lex. Right. Did either ship in a bottle? Anyone?
I've never done it myself.
Oh,
I
good.
had real ships.
I know, I remember. If things had been differently, I might have been on your ship under your command.
Perhaps. She looks like at you like absolutely not. No.
I'm sorry, I'm sure it's a little weird, Belinar. At the time I was actually I was in the test core some ways behind you, but basically you were one of the pioneering pilots of our day, and well, I think it was only because of your sterling reputation that they let another officer in that service keep that. Though I seem to, I'm not sure what. I had a few that were designated for the to take my place, and I. Wait a minute. Oh dear, things must have gone a bit sour if south if the cook wound up taking it. Uh, Lindell was my ship's cook.
Cook?
Yes, that was Lindell there. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, an echo from my past life. I hear it. Well, as everyone's reminiscing here, and Traven, you're reckoning with this, Lindell he's going to keep that hand to your shoulder. Look, I don't know exactly how things happened, and whether for that refusal, I can't remember, but maybe we can at least find a way out of this, or find some way to help you here. Have you had much of a chance to speak with this boatman, barge master, captain? I guess he is in charge of the ship here.
And apparently a completely different species.
Yes, yes. Well, maybe we can talk him into a bit of help here, or
I don't even know how we're here. If this is supposed to be the afterlife of another species, How did we get here?
My crew was a Klingon crew, and I adapted my life around them after being basically enslaved by them for a while.
Wait. Okay, sorry. Continue.
And so
Slavery.
basically, it just seemed like a better life. They lived honorably. They fought for their friends, their family, everything from titles down to their personality was all about honor, and I just thought it was really cool. I guess that changed my religious views as well.
But there's no such thing as an afterlife. Whatever. We've established where we are. We've established we have a problem. We just haven't established what the problem is. Where does this boat take us? According
Maybe
to
we
the
should ask
Klingon
the
afterlife.
one person here we have not talked to.
I don't know. Does he even understand us?
He does.
I
When
understand
did
you
he?
perfectly well.
When did you? How did you learn how to speak Trill?
You think that you are still attached to concepts such as language and that is any meaningful divide here. All dishonored souls come the same way.
Dishonored? See, now that makes no sense. I fought for my people. I went back into enemy territory. I tried to raise people to fight.
I was on the front lines. Traven, did you do something?
I did not need to go to the fight. Like I said, I didn't fight for them. I fought for fame.
He has
There was
met
no
a
honor in it.
he has met a dishonorable end, and thus is consigned to his fate in the gate in Grethor. And that is even if Feklar will allow him passage past the gates. As to you, he says, gesturing to the rest, you are strange to me.
One way of putting it.
Or whether or not you are perhaps echoes, or perhaps souls carried in another manner. I do not know, but the honor of whatever deeds you were in a past life do not seem to hold sway over your fate here. Like an anchor around your necks, the dishonor of one pulls you beneath the waves.
That doesn't sound very fair.
You are strange to me for this reason.
An anchor dropped can also be a means for stopping and reversing course, can it not?
If you're seeking to challenge your honor, challenge that dishonor here, you will find no way to do so on this barge. No honor can be gained in combat here, and I will not give it. It will not change your fate.
Oh, combat, no. A little diplomacy, perhaps.
I am not a man to be bargained with. I am consigned to my fate much as you are to yours.
Why are you here?
He gazes off over the horizon. I slew our gods. So much more trouble than they were worth. And for that, my penalty is to bear all those dishonored souls to Grethor.
Who's penalizing you?
'Tis the cost for what I have done.
Okay, I'm sorry. I never took any of my. I didn't do very well in my comparative religion classes, so I'm just going to stop this conversation.
Yes. The old your old professor interjects. I recall you. I recall you telling me that it was an utter waste, and that you felt that the C plus grade was. Frankly, you had felt in part it was a mistake for you to have ever taken the course, but you also felt that The professor there was a bit harsh. I could not have told you this at the time, but perhaps you remembered my thinking that I quietly agreed with you. At least about the harshness. It is always good to understand one's faith.
Yeah, perhaps, but looking back on it later, they went easy on me. I shouldn't have passed at all. I think I was just too noisy for them to fail me.
I think that too. But
All right, so you're stuck here taking dishonored people to your version of hell because you killed the gods. Is that what you're saying? And now, because we're connected to him, we're all going. Do I have that right?
that is my task, and that is your fate.
Fate's what you make it. Yeah, I can't be the only one who thinks this is like wrong. Can I?
It's because
Eh.
it is.
It is.
I don't know if it's necessarily wrong. It's we know so little about the afterlife, especially being the species that we are. Our symbiote goes on and a whole new life is started. Who's to say that the end destination after death isn't shaped by the life that we led? So, for example, if Traven had landed on a human world, that we wouldn't
what?
be.
I mentioned them. They were one of the peoples that they encountered. They're actually not that similar from not dissimilar from us.
Um, who's to say that they aren't, that he wouldn't have their interpretation of afterlife? It
I
could
mean,
all be different.
we had several religions on Trill. Why didn't you pick one of those? Whatever. All right, so we're going to Klingon hell. Can we get out of it,
No,
Mr. Klingon God killing boat pirate guy?
That is not for me to judge. That is for that is for others of you to that is for you to take up with Feklar, and he may only allow you past the gates, either that or feed you out to the Koskari.
The what?
Like some sort of sea serpent crashes out of the water and back in. It's large, it's elongated serpentine body, just like giving you the impression of something out of your nightmares.
What was that?
well, it's like good eating.
Belenar turns to Traven. We are not being fed to that. Your life is more than one moment. Think of something better. Prove you are worthy of this Klingon race you are so fond of.
Maybe they'll do something special because we're different and weird, according to him.
Well, see, I don't want to go to hell if it actually exists. I didn't do anything to deserve it.
Mr. Klingon boat swain person, have any other species besides Klingon been through your ship before on your journeys?
Koratar seems to give you little mind. I ferry all dishonorable souls. That you are strange for different reasons that you do not bear yourselves as Klingon. In any case, these questions grow tiresome for me, and I must prepare us in for this final treacherous part of the journey. Grethor awaits.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Am I actually dead, or is it possible that I might have a chance of being alive right now.
Kortar looks to you, Traven, and says, alive or dead, it matters little. All I can see is the dishonor that you bear that keeps you on this boat and that brings you to Grethor.
So can we change that?
There is no challenge to honor, no challenge that may elevate your honor here.
We have to get to the gates.
So, um, going above board here, do any among you wish to take any? Do any among you wish to talk amongst yourselves on any other way? Anything else that you would want to pick up from each other, or anything of the sort?
No, I think not for me.
I would want to know who came after me.
Well, you.
So I would ask. All right, we've got a little time, I guess.
That would be me.
You. All right.
Yes. Me.
Now, I should know something about you, but I don't because we've not been properly integrated because reasons. But the last thing that I remember was a bright light and and a boom. Is that how I died?
You're a smart friend. Of course, that is how you died. It's how
Assassins?
I died as well.
Was it? What was it? Was
Yes.
it like a bomb? Was it assassins? Was it a bombing?
It was a bombing, yes.
Did we get rid of? Did we bring Thorn down? I need to know.
You did.
All right. Well, at least did something right. Thank you. What did you do?
I flew ships, and I was very good at it.
Ships like boats? How do you fly a
Like
boat?
planes.
All right, planes. I've got that. They were called planes, not ships. Oh wait, did you go off world?
Darling GM, did I actually go off world or was I just within the world?
You
I
you
think I
did
was just.
you did make it into orbit. Basically, Belinar's time was you were the equivalent of a NASA pilot. So
Oh, that's right, because I died doing warp. Yeah. All right.
less that and other slightly other circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romaldo is actually going to come up here. Belinar was actually among one of the first officers to in the Unified Space Service to actually make it into high orbit and contributed greatly to the program. She got personnel and materials alike easily up to orbit. By far safest pilot that's or pilot with the cleanest safety record that we ever had. She was a great example for the service.
She looks. His name Romaldo. Is that what you
Yep.
said?
Yep.
Alright. She looks at Romaldo and she is not especially proud, but she stands up a little bit straighter as he speaks.
Her passing was difficult for the service. There was an incident with we were testing a new inertial restraint system, something that would allow conceivable speeds that would approach closer to well, we actually had technology that could get us very well near the speed of light, but we needed to experiment with them a little bit more. The I'm sorry, it just feels a little weird to talk about how she died when, well, aside from the fact that she's standing right here, he says, gesturing over to her, the fact that we are all here, so many of you that have died that I've died, and sorry. I suppose do we have a plan for this scenario? Because I mean,
For
I
which,
went out to space to confront the strange, but I'm finding this a little stranger than what I trained for.
I
I
mean,
don't
we're all
believe any of us were trained for this.
no, not at all.
And the slightest.
Did either of you? I mean, Romaldo, you keep talking about these aliens. You've met them?
Not Klingon specifically, merely, well, I've only met a handful of species. The
Wait,
Vulcans
there's.
once,
Oh my.
well,
Perhaps we should. Oh, sorry.
they weren't the ones that you should worry about.
The Romulans.
I beg your pardon. You know, everyone puzzles over that one. Um, but yeah, you were gonna say though, Belinar, possibly cutting through the drifting and tangents here.
Perhaps we should leave the Klingon information. She struggles for words. She's having a hard time for some reason. We don't all know. To the person who has brought us here. She looks to Traven. What can you add to this conversation? You know the most about us. And them. And our guide is woefully quiet.
The only thing that's most notable about them is their whole philosophy, their religion, their lifestyle was based on honor and glory.
That we could surmise, yes. Thank you, Traven.
Yeah, this is amazing. Lots of things have happened. Yes.
But yet, sacrificing yourself for the greater good is considered dishonor.
It
I
was
think
maybe
it
it
was.
that brought
I
the
think it
dishonor.
was less. From what he said, it was less sacrificing himself and more doing it simply for recognition. It was the motivation behind the action, not the action itself, that was problematic. Does that sound right, Traven?
Yeah, I basically put my crew in more danger by being there than by staying back. I
Well,
shouldn't have been
alright.
anywhere near there.
what kind of danger was it? And that might be important.
A genetically modified alien thing. It's a giant lizard,
Oh dear.
and it ended up being one of my friends, and when we went to fight it, it chomped down. I can't remember where, but that's all I remember.
Wait, this was a friend of yours that did this?
He was infected. We were on a old science Klingon vessel, and nobody told me they left, so I just went there myself.
Frem, you,
Yes.
as you were looking, as like you're listening to the description and maybe getting a sense of the others, you notice that a very grave look has come over your old professor's face. Yeldum Lex, or just Yeldum here for your purposes.
Professor Yeldon.
Yes, Professor Yeldum has. She has that similar intuitive spark coming over her. And she'll make eye contact with you and say, always the right questions. What happened to the symbiote?
The symbiote should still be inside me.
It
If
would
my
have
crew's
to.
not here, that means they're alive.
And these Klingons, are they able to get the symbiote to the back to the homeworld? Or
No,
to
but Crescent can.
Who?
The doctor.
Romaldo and Yeldon both start looking a little bit more stressed here. Lindell seems a bit. He's just very quiet.
So you mean to say that the symbiote is in the hands of an alien warrior culture who can fly all the way to Homeworld?
Yes, but they're more than that. The crew's different.
You're not helping.
I would
mean-
say they're as close to a Trill as a Klingon can get in the best terms.
Well, as I have nothing to gauge that statement on, you're still not helping. We need to get Traven out of hell. Klingon hell. I don't know how we're going to do that, because he doesn't even know if he's dead or not. I'm thinking he's alive still, because if he wasn't, we wouldn't be here, because we're still attached to him through Lex. So somehow we have to figure out how to help him through whatever existential crisis he's going through here. Because if he's not dead, if he's only mostly dead, that means he's partly alive.
The you part is still alive. I'm dying.
No, we're all dead except for you.
If I'm still alive, that means Kresik is working on you. Hold on a second.
On you. Not us.
He was told to save you, even if that meant killing me.
No. What you are Lex too. How we are all you, and you are us. We are all connected through Lex.
Real
Lex
quick,
is yeah.
I was just going to say, Caligo, there was something you were trying to cut in a couple times with. I just wanted to make sure if you wanted to chime in on this.
No, it's good.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
we are
kiddo.
all. You're just the current incarnation of all of us, but you've cut us all off. Why do you think that you're separate from us?
Because I'm not like any of you. The closest I even am is to my old master. And I'm not even a quarter of the chef that he was.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Still a child.
Oh, come on. I'm not that much older than him.
Close enough.
You are both babies, infants even.
Well, how long
There
did
is
you?
much time. I have no idea how old I am, but that's fine. I know I am not an infant.
I mean, I know that I am me. I'm nothing like Yeldum was. I mean, she was my professor at university. I'm nothing like Tebow. Tebow he was a warrior, a soldier.
Right on.
And Felinar was the first of us. Nothing like him. And just talking to Belinar, definitely nothing like her. We are all different. We're all different people, but we're all connected through Lex. Lex has blended all of us, but not you. You don't know who you are, do you?
I
It's
have
not a
no
rhetorical
idea.
question. You have
My,
no idea?
none. My life's just kind of been set in front of me. The only choice I ever had was, do you want to be an artist or do you want to be a cook?
There's no problem with either of those careers.
Or you could have picked one you actually liked. Did what you wanted.
I don't know. You found some sort of connection with these Klingons. Maybe there's something there. Just because you haven't fought any wars or done anything like that doesn't mean you haven't done anything important. I'm not proud of everything that I've done. I mean, I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen, I've killed. Certainly don't like to think about that. I mean, I had a reason why I did all of that. So doesn't make it a nice thing to do. Doesn't make for good memories.
The cause was certainly just, Lyndall says after a long bit of silence, and I don't know what cause ultimately brought you here, Traven, but, well, what matters is we are all here for you, and if there is even a chance that you are still alive, that we could do something to help you here, then, well, we wouldn't be anywhere else. Well, we would do what we could to save you and the Lex symbiote. If it truly is too late for you and perhaps for all of us and for Lex itself, well, maybe there's still something else we can do to help you here. I don't know for sure, but all I know is that we can do our best here. We can appeal to this guardian, and maybe he can find a way to at least help soothe your soul, if not save your body.
Well, I'm certainly not going to like being in hell. Certainly didn't like any of the ones I read about on Trill.
Yeah, they're never good.
Well, the hell of water was, well, I think, the worst.
Yeah, they're all overrated from the real thing.
Wait, what now?
What, you think? What, you don't think, I'm sure hell isn't as bad as the fucking trenches. That was terrible. Terrible.
Trench.
The trenches are my worst. The trenches are my worst memory. The older captain says, and I very nearly got eaten myself, actually.
Well, apparently I got blown up, so.
Yeah. Let's. How about though we not play the game of who had the worst memories and whatnot, and see if we can do more practical, something a little more practical here. He
Yeah,
looks over the like fragments of wood that Bellinar has been breaking off and trying to distribute around. He also observes the blunted weapon fragments. Oh, well, some of these we might be able to. I don't think we could do much to sharpen them, but we might at least uh, have something to ward off some sort of threat if it comes to it. I don't know how
used
much.
worse.
Yep. So
Yeah, so go pick up. Frem will pick up some of the if there's like a blunted knife or chunk of a funny looking curved sword, she'll pick one of those up and take some of the stakes or splinters of wood that could possibly be used to gouge out eyeballs.
yep. So um, does anyone want to do anything else to prepare for this next step here?
I guess I'd start collecting up some of that cloth.
A good thought. Um, it doesn't all seem necessarily sanitary. Some of these appear to have accrued various stains, or maybe some have faded over time. It's not ideal, but it is what you have to work with.
Work with what you got.
Yep. Uh, Anyone else want to do anything in preparation for their arrival?
Other than the freaking sea monster, is there any sign of land or anything like that that Bellinora may have seen?
Uh, as you give another look, this time over the horizon, you actually notice that there is the beginnings of a great stone wall, and lapping of the lapping of the deep crimson waters against the coastline of jagged rock and other stone. It seems that the boat is actually nearing a point where a dock has been outstretched.
Mr. GM, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I was on mute and didn't realize it. I was picking up some of the stakes and for pieces of wood for gouging out of eyes.
Yeah, I heard
And
that bit.
you heard all that part. Well, somehow I was on mute. So my question was on the character sheet for Frem here. I'm just looking over it, and it looks like some of the values are incomplete.
That's unusual. We'll have to work on that. If not now, then between sessions.
Okay.
So,
Sorry to have interrupted.
all right. So, add lost my place. The barge is beginning to near what appears to be a stone pier, illuminated by burning torchlight. There is a great wooden gate that, as you draw close, begins to take a clearer and clearer sight. As the image gets sharper, you also cannot help but notice the iconography. Something that, despite your personal unfamiliarity with it, the thought or the idea of Klingon comes through, but something that recognizes that there is something terribly wrong with it.
I do not like the looks of this place. She turns to everybody. Everyone, we fight as one. One unit. Do not deviate. Do not go out. Do not try to be a hero. Clear?
Absolutely.
We can't engage until we challenge.
She nods in understanding.
It's that whole honor thing, right?
Correct. If we don't follow their rules, I feel like we're going to have a way worse time here.
Good to know.
As Kortar brings the boat up to the pier and its pace slows, you begin to feel wafting from over the walls rushes of the occasional blast of heat, smell of something sulfurous and deeply unpleasant. There might even be the distant sounds of screams and cries out, suffering and possibly torture denoted. Souls that have long since crossed that threshold and met an unhappy fate. And as the barge finally comes to a halt, a plank coming down and extending to the pier, the boat secured where it is. This is where you step off, Kortar tells all of you. From here, Your fate is no longer of my concern. Feklar decides now.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna step off.
I'll
No.
step off behind him, holding on to my janky weaponry.
Alley-oop.
Yep. So
Eleanor thanks him. We appreciate your help through this passage.
I merely do my duty.
She nods in understanding and steps off.
As I get off the ship, I do not know your customary blessings for safe travels, so please accept my blessing on safe travels in the language and respect of your culture.
None who travel this route are blessed. I'll be gone. So, each of you step off the boat and find yourselves on the stone path before you. As you set foot on the pier, the door opens, and a figure hulking, uh, at least I'd say a foot over all of you, say from the top of the ridge or the headdress that comes out, probably comes to like close to about 7 feet tall, I suppose. It is a hulking figure that maybe bears the slightest resemblance to Klingons, but the features are so distorted, there's almost a mocking sensibility to it. Bound up by chains and by and plates of metal that seem practically jury-rigged into place to serve as armor. It also bears what seems to be hot metal across its chest and the inverted icon. There's something primal about this, something almost in a sense like animal-like to it. Traven, the wild look in its eyes in particular reminds you just a bit for a moment of the terror that you encountered before. Who comes through this pass?
Traven Lex.
What dregs try to make his way through here? You do not belong. There's nothing Klingon in your heart. Only shame. I would not. I would scarcely bother to scrape you from the bottom of my boot.
And I'm here to prove you wrong.
Oh, you think you can earn honor here? You are mistaken. You do not even pass these gates. There's no place to be had for you. You will be but sent back into the sea, lost for all time. Or maybe, if you are lucky, you shall feed those that helped me keep this place is its eternal prison for the dishonored. As he raises his arms over his head, you hear an unsettling chattering sound and almost a whooping and hollering of something ethereal, more less like something in celebration and more almost like an animal of some sort mocking it. If there were an analog to like a bat or something on Trill, then it would be something almost akin to uh, that type of noise. As small creatures, each like with the same sort of twisted face as this being here. The If Kortar was correct, then this supposedly is Feklar, the guardian of the gate to Grethor. These bear its visage in an extent, but are small, considerably shorter than you, and they they seem to just hunch over with varied small weapons and implements, and they begin to skitter on down as if unbound by gravity, but more moving down down the surface akin to what an insect might do. They begin to climb, consolidate, and finally leap down to to the surface. The choice is yours.
This is gonna be entertaining.
So you're telling me the only way to change your mind is to give you no options?
You act as though you have choice. The choice is mine alone here. Oh, you miserable dreg, you waste of life. You who do not even deserve this place of the dishonored.
Valandar, you got a plan?
Are you afraid that I'll prove you wrong?
As if you could do anything to reverse your fate. You shall not even make it to the line. And it's going to snap a thick, monstrous finger as the creatures skitter and basically form a line between you and Feklar, with varied small spiked implements at the ready. Come only if you wish to suffer in their bellies. At least that of you which they don't cast out to the Kostkari.
Mm. I give it 50-50.
I like those odds. I'm gonna pull back behind the party.
Okay. Well, with this, with this, you back up, and I suppose at this point, the only way that you are getting like even getting into Feklar's consideration is apparently a bit of challenge. So at your leisure, you enter combat.
Yay!
Club the little bastards.
They've got free weapons.
They all these are basically all like well gremlins or goblins of a sort that seem to all be wielding either very short, sort of mocking versions of mek'leths or just outright like spiked maces.
Remind me, how does command work again?
Uh, would you would you care to? How do you mean?
Like, direct somebody to attack.
Oh, for a direct order, you would simply use presence and command in order to assist somebody that is making an attack.
Okay. Direct order. Sorry, I'm trying to get all the names together.
You're fine.
I'm gonna direct order Belinar.
Okay, what are you gonna tell her to do? Attack?
That one closest.
All right. Grab like when you grab someone's arm, kind of like I don't fucking know. Never mind. I just grab Romaldo as well, and I want him to assist me.
Copy that. Um, I
All
think
right,
in
so
terms,
we are gonna attack someone.
yep, in terms of the dice
Oh,
roll, I think I'll leave it as Traven assisting you with presence on command, though Romaldo is at least going
okay.
to, he will stand to your side and basically divert the other as you start to skirmish here. Um, that being said, so you roll daring plus security, and they will contest. Just as a reminder for the future, Traven, you only roll a single d20
One.
on the assist. Um,
Okay.
but since you guys are taking the initiative, your oops, it's actually not supposed to be command. Oh well, doesn't matter there. Um, since you rolled for, or since you were taking the initiative on that roll, you do get the win there, and Belinar, you may roll damage for it. So I'm going to say either the bludgeon or we'll say the basically the mechleth would be the options. You have because the weapons are so blunted and like corroded or otherwise like unusable, they don't have the vicious quality to them. But you might. Okay,
Ooh.
that is 6 points of damage there, which 6 points of stress, which will be enough to inflict an injury on one of them. As it will try to swing at your legs, you manage to score a hit using your reach in order to break past. Romaldo actually is going to uh, take advantage of this a little bit and kind of slightly force his way between the flank of the creature that you've injured and the one that he's facing off against. So, Traven, once again, give me a pointer. Which one did you talk about knocking out?
The one closest to her. I think it'd be
So,
that
oh,
one. Yeah.
okay. So basically, this one is driven back a little bit, and Romaldo is well. He actually comes up here, and essentially kind of works a bit of a tries to drive a bit of a wedge between them. So the creatures are going to start making their moves. One of them is going to try to take a swing over at you, Tabo, on the right.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. We are keeping. We are keeping the initiative.
Do you
I have the trait of
or
where did it
talent?
go? The talent of quick to action. During the first round of any combat, you and your allies may ignore the normal cost to retain the initiative.
Very good. All right, then who's going to
No,
move
no,
next?
get that one.
Uh, can I do the command?
You could still assist with command here.
Let's go with. Crap! I always forget. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting everybody's names.
Were you thinking Tabo, Romaldo?
Romaldo.
Or, okay. Let's see.
Hit that one adjacent to you. Start
Gotcha.
breaking them down.
Okay. Let's call this daring plus security for Romaldo. It's like, I should have done a little bit more with the. Oh, well, Romaldo did quite well with that, so that is 4 successes on the board, plus 1 from Traven, and against these Fakiri here, that only that only deals, or they only have 1 success to counter, so they are going to lose, and you will gain 3 points of momentum. Since Romaldo is doing this, would you care to only take 1 of those and gain an advantage here? Basically allow Romaldo a chance for observation.
Oh. I kind of want to keep the momentum just in case.
That's fair. Well,
Is
if
that
you
okay
want,
with everybody?
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, so take the 3 momentum then.
How do I do that? There we go.
You drew the threat there.
I did, didn't I? I'm sorry.
You did. It's okay. We'll get that taken care of. I'll just steal these real quick, and I'll deal you out the momentum, Traven. And let's see. So let's see. All right. So Romaldo is going to try to make a strike. Oh, you've already drawn the momentum there. He's going to try and work with just the bludgeon that he has, a sort of very blunted mace. He'll just kind of bash at the creature a little bit. Um, I'll cry out, can't say that can't say this was part of the command training for the exploratory mission. I suppose if we're just having to make it past the line, then maybe we can force open a wedge for you.
Oh, yep. Just gotta get past the big guy.
As you speculate onto that, the one immediately next to the one immediately closest to Tabo and on the other sort of end is going to try and make an attack on Tabo. So you are going to be rolling here. I'm going to ask Tabo, are you using like one of the wood fragments that you picked up, or would it be one of the like dulled blades? What are you thinking of to try and confront this?
I'm thinking a bit in a nice wooden club.
All right. So one of them's going to come in with a wicked-looking curved blade, try to start slashing at you here. They will only roll 1 success on their roll. And that will not be enough against 2 of your successes, so that means you earn back a point of momentum, and you may now counterattack or deal damage. Okay, that is 3 points of damage, and you just send it prone, dropping its weapon in the process. So now the turn order will go back to you guys.
I'm sorry. Have any of the bad guys dropped? Or we
No,
still have...
none of them have dropped. Nobody has been dealt an injury to this. Well, actually, wait. I think that technically Bellinar might have done enough damage to what would ordinarily constitute an injury, but no one seems to have gone down permanently, is the problem.
Right. Has this one been hit yet?
Not yet. It's looking at trying to round on Bellinar.
Okay.
Yeah. Does he have enough movement to pick up the weapon and to go over there to assist?
Those would be, I think, one of those would be one of those would be a minor action. Then you would have to start spending momentum in order to do more.
All right. Well, I can go if you're good with that. I can get up to here. I can move to here and attack this one with one of the improvised weapons I have.
Do it.
Do it.
Hit him where it hurts.
Hit it where it hurts. All right. So I'm going to attempt to whack at it. Daring and security.
Yep.
Jeez, this little girl is better. This little girl is better at combat. She's better at combat than talk.
Okay, you just need to get one success, and you will beat this.
I don't think any of my focuses apply.
Potentially not.
Don't think so.
You're not going for an ambush.
Guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla tactics.
An ambush is. It doesn't quite work out this time. But you know what? What does work are those 2 successes right there.
Yep.
Because that means that you, combined with Traven's assist, you are going to you're going to be able to easily inflict damage on that, and try to work around its flank, basically.
All right. So what am I being counted as having used? It was I have like a nasty chunk, broken batleth, I think.
I suppose it could either be that, or I recall you saying that you'd been grabbing bits of wood, which I've been giving the bludgeon, basically.
Okay, but I also did say I picked up, you said there were broken pieces of, broken bits of weaponry, and I did say a big, funky, curvy, weird sword thing that I would pick up.
Gotcha.
So, like, part of a batleth, which would technically be a mechleth then at that point, yes?
Yes.
All right, so I will roll for the mechleth. Vicious doesn't count because it's a piece of crap weapon.
Yep.
There we go.
All right, that is going to be enough to deal an injury. That shouldn't actually be there. Oh, wait a minute. I did that to the wrong sheet. No wonder. Okay. So yes, you do manage to land a blow on the creature, hacking at it. Not piercing skin, certainly, but still knocking into it with enough force that it howls and scurries back just a little bit. Its attention now fixed on you for a moment.
Alrighty.
So, with that, Tabo, you are actually going to have another one coming in from around the flank to come at you this time. The Fakiri have apparently decided that they hate you today. And they are going to roll a single... Well, they only score a single success against you. These little bastards are not particularly skilled.
They suck. The Hexers were better. What?
Ooh, those 3 successes right there, that is going to be enough to beat them back. So tell me how you'd react as one of them skitters up, tries to swing with a mace and knock into, try to go for your legs. How do you counter?
Oh, it's just a little hop back, and then I just swing my arms sideways with my own club.
Yep.
It's little. Its head's within whacking range.
Yep.
We're playing whack-a-mole with demons.
Yes.
Cool.
Potentially.
I'm thinking like a golf move. Honestly, that was where my mind went.
What?
All right, so yep, that's enough to roll damage for the for that mace there, which is enough to knock it down. I think that would also deal an injury technically, but it's apparently the injuries are not doing quite what you would expect them to do. These things still seem to be getting up, or they're not dead or necessarily out of the fight. You've basically sent a second one for some distance, which, for perspective, Traven, your right is opening up a bit more as the other Feklar have been or rather Fakiri have been knocked out of the way. On the left, uh, Romaldo, Frem, and Belinar are keeping them engaged. There's one here on the very far right that is about to skitter into action here. And then just before you stands Feklar himself. So the turn goes back to you now. You still have the ability to act technically, or you could try to send one of the others to do something.
Make Felinar do something. He hasn't done anything.
I direct Felinar. Grab that mace
Okay.
and help Tabo.
For the Lex symbiote, I will go up and attack.
All right. You see this tiny little skittering creature, something out of your nightmares, as you wield the mace. You don't feel quite as encumbered by the by how uh, the sort of memory of yourself that seems to have been somewhat advanced in years as the wizened statesman. Um, you find you can move with a bit more relative vigor, though still probably not as much as these apparent soldiers and explorers of distant places that you can only begin to conceive. Um, right now, it's apparently demon fighting time. Um, but yes, if you want to try and swing at this, then you may engage, or you may
Okay.
engage with the thing. Or would there be
Daring
anything else you want to do?
Nope. Just swing at it. Move up and swing at it with the mace.
All right, daring and security. You must beat 2 successes.
Sculpting would totally come into play here.
I'm afraid you don't have anything that precise right now.
That 1 success is okay.
Well, but it's not enough to beat the 2 successes scored by the Fakiri.
Can you succeed at cost with combat?
I will allow you to do that, which will cause. I will tell you what. I will rule now that if you do that, you will be able to succeed, but you will lose your weapon in the process.
That's okay.
Right. You try to give the mace a swing, but you lose your grasp of it and send it flying out towards the thing before you can make contact. Go ahead and roll me damage. Okay, that is going to be enough to send it knocked down, albeit a little confused. You accidentally give it a Mjolnir style toss there. Yeah, with this amidst this combat here, Feklar is just shaking his head, looking at the bunch of you. in contact. I think all of them have technically went at this point, so it's just if you want the other two to do anything here, Yeldum and Lindell, then they can take actions. If you want to direct them, you can, Lex. Otherwise, if you want them to help out in other ways.
Does Lindell have a weapon?
Lindell does have like a what appears to be he has a bit of like wooden debris from everything that was kicked up. He's kind of you see him clinging to it, ready to swing, but at the same time he's like not rushing into battle necessarily.
Lindell, I need you to pull this one off of me. Try and give me a way through.
I'll block its way. I presume you're talking about the one next to Romaldo.
Yes.
Right. Go on, do what you need to, Traven. I won't actually have you roll. At present, I'll just say that he moves to a place in between you.
Okay.
So if you want to do anything else, if you want to try and interact with Feklar here, then I can give you that chance.
He said I couldn't get past the gate, right?
He said you couldn't get past his line.
I walk past his line and hold out my arms.
You fight with the spirit of one not quite of this world, nor of the rest of you. I suppose you can pass my gates and endure the life of permanent dishonor. Perhaps we shall all be able to take the pleasure of seeing whether you stand a greater chance against these tortures than the Klingons that reside here. Is that what you want, Traven Lex?
It's what I need. So yes.
Oh, well, that being said, if we could go without the tortures, or maybe not be here, but not be out in that, that would also be good. Your case is strange, and those that come with you are stranger. They are not right. They are worthy of a fate beyond this, but they're all bound here. Oh, I see. You bring them down here with you. Your dishonor has truly gained great weight.
The only dishonored here is you. You dishonor us. Traven does not.
The fate seems to say otherwise. You would not be down here without it. That you truly believe that you merit something beyond this? Do you think the words of these people far greater, far more accomplished than you? Far more worthy? Do you honestly believe that you could be in their league?
I thought that I wasn't going to pass your line. Apparently I'm wrong about a lot of things. So are you. So if I say I'm not worthy, I'm probably wrong.
Maybe you are, or maybe you are not. I shall require proof before passage is given. He looks behind him to the gate. Perhaps you may yet present your appeal, but I will not have it until I have seen you confront the weight of your worthless life and the dishonor it carries. There are avatars within of cowardice, treachery, and dishonor, all of which I feel you bear. If you can pass their test, then perhaps I will hear an audience from you yet. And then maybe you and I shall be proven wrong. Fail your tests, and you remain in Grithor. Succeed, and we shall see what happens.
I'm ready. Lead me to the tests.
He'll raise a hand, and the Thakiri around you begin to skitter back up the walls, backing away from you with some degree of some degree of caution. Theklar himself will step aside and gesture towards the gate, which begins to crack open. And as you take your steps towards the threshold, Traven, this is where we are going to leave off today's session. So, oh dear, and we actually had a first-time chatter. I am sorry I missed you there, Asterix Gaming. But yes, Traven very nearly, Traven at least commanded the squad well, and he did fairly well with this first test here, but there are more trials to await, and so we're going to be back with this next week and return to we'll come back with part 2 of the life and death of Traven Lex. Until then, we hope that you enjoyed we hope that you enjoy this and the other shows. If you ever want to catch us live, for those of you that are in the archive, we air these Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so feel free to join us. Until then, we will catch you later.